Mhm. Mhm. Oh my gosh, it's working. Yay, I'm so excited. Okay. Oh, yes. It went through. What is up, Deb? Okay. This is so exciting. I think it's actually working. Oh my goodness. Okay. Streaming here, streaming there. I'm going to look on my phone, just make sure, because I'm kind of not believing it since there's been so many issues. It's live. I can see it. Yay. So excited. Finally. If you've been hanging out with me for the last several weeks or since the beginning of all of this going live on Friday, you know it has been quite a bit of a train wreck trying to figure this all out, but we're doing it. Oh, I'm so excited. What is up, folks? Happy Friday. I've got a little bit of a lag on my end. My internet has really been giving me so much trouble this week. So thank you for your patience. What's up? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I don't always look this cute. I'm going to go meet a friend for some coffee and a chia bowl after this. So, you know, hey. So welcome back for another weekly Akashic Forecast. My name is Ahna Hendrix. I am a spiritual guide, Akashic Soul channel, and host of the Soul Driven podcast, which is a weekly podcast where we explore the intersection of living a soulful and spiritual life in a driven and ambitious world. So, what's up? What's up? What's up? So happy to have you back. Hey, Deb, happy Friday. So glad you're here. Yeah, so I'm just going to dive right in today. First of all, if you missed last week's Akashic reading on the Uvalde and the mass shootings, highly recommend checking that out. If you're still, really, I mean, like we've had several shootings since then. So this is a beautiful reading to get some clarification on what's going on, why it's happening. And I'll be putting all of the links, of course, to the things that I talk about in the comments below once this live is completed. So be sure to check that out. But in addition, this week, the June monthly forecast, the Akashic forecast went live. It is epic. You can listen to it, you can read it, whichever serves you best. I love listening and reading at the same time. That's just me. But whatever serves you best. The link will actually take you to my website where you can not only listen, but the transcript is also written out as well. That way you can just kind of take it in another way. But June is a big month. It is a month of awakening. It is another month of us just opening up that much more to ourselves, to the world around us, to what's going on. I think we're going to be very introspective this month. I think it's going to really be a mixed bag of energy. And if you're someone who loves astrology, I highly recommend checking out the astrology podcast. He does a monthly overview, Chris Brennan and his friends, of every month. And I mean, it's like 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours, packed full of information. They review the previous month, they talk about the overall month, break each week down, and it is so good. To the astrology nerds, I look forward to it every month. But that'll really give you another way to kind of figure out what's going on this month, just kind of getting your handle on things before we dive into it too much. But if you're anything like me, the beginning of this month is like, it feels like the energy just kind of dropped. It's super chill. Be sure to check out the June Akasha. You can also find it on Medium, where I post at least weekly, sometimes more, and talk about a wide variety of subjects. So there's a couple of things for you. Outside of that, I just wanted to remind you, we only have 6 more days. So basically a little bit less than a week before registration closes for the Confidence series. This is a 6-week healing journey with the Akasha. Highly, highly recommend. That as I get closer and closer to this series, which is actually will be starting on the 13th, so that following Monday, so much information has been channeling through to me about confidence and about this enormous role that it plays in our life, in our everything, right? And when I say confidence, it might be a word that kind of like goes over your head, or you think like, who can be confident, But when we think about the problems of the world, and literally every problem of the world, every issue that we might have on a personal or collective level comes back to that confidence that we have in ourselves, our self-worth, the value that we place on ourselves, the ways in which we can feel loved and whole and complete. You think about addictions and mental health and any of these issues that we deal with in life, it all comes back to confidence. And so we're going to be diving in. This is going to be a really beautiful container to come and share if that is something you want to do, but very engaging. We'll be diving into different topics every week and then going through different Akashic activations to assist us with that topic in regards to clearing out the fear, clearing out the blocks, really strengthening our intention to heal this area of our life. And the folks who've already signed up are just creating the most beautiful group. I am very, very excited. So if that calls to you, be sure to check that out. Registration closes on the 9th. And I cannot wait. I will be in there healing with you. I personally don't believe that anyone is perfectly healed when it comes to confidence. So I think it's something we can all use again and again and again. Okay, so let's review a bit about last week and last week's reading. Going back and listening to it, it kind of blew my mind a little bit because I felt like they pulled in not just like the weekly forecast, but they were also talking about a lot of the same themes that actually came up in the June forecast, in addition to some themes that they had touched on when I channeled the Uvalde reading as well. And it just felt like a very whole kind of well-rounded, like getting you prepared. So feel free to go back and check that one out if it calls to you, if that's something of interest to you. But they really kind of started it off with this whole reminder about one and the fact that we are all one. We are all connected. We are all the same. We are all one. And that does not take away from our individuality, not by any means. It just means that when we treat someone poorly, we're treating ourselves poorly. It means that when things are happening out in the world, on the big macro landscape, there are also things that are happening inside in our own world. And we can use everything as mirrors. When someone is treating us poorly, there's a reason for that. What is going on? Are we also treating ourselves poorly on the inside? And they're just reflecting that to us. These are really important things to consider right now and in these times, because there is so much energy. There are so many different shifts, and realizing that everything in our world is a mirror to ourselves is huge. I get lost sometimes thinking about like the Matrix and like, I have so many questions, and honestly, I don't believe that like any human has the answers. um, it's one of those things that I'm, like, even though I'm an Akashic record reader and I trust the Akashics, I'm still someone who uses my discernment, and not just discernment, but like I question everything, which I think is really healthy for all of us. We can love someone, we can still appreciate their teachings, we can appreciate what they do. But if something hits us weird, we need to question it. We need to go deeper on that. There's nothing wrong with questioning. In fact, it's so healthy, because everything in our world right now wants to tell us what to do, tell us how to be, tell us how to feel, all of those different things. And if it doesn't feel right to you, there's a reason for that. Because while we are all one, we're all having our own individual experiences. And what might work for me may be totally awful for you. And that's okay. It's super valid. What's most important is that we take the time to figure out what is working for us, how things can heal for us, how we can improve, or what's going wrong. And we do all of that by asking questions. Curiosity is probably, as far as I'm concerned, the best trait that any of us can have or grow or work on and cultivate within our lives, right? If we're curious about our relationships, then instead of getting hurt and angry, we're going to ask questions and get educated and probably find out it has nothing to do with us, or you know what I'm saying? If something really difficult is happening in our world, ask questions, get curious. They talked about more pain and intensity would be felt. And I definitely, in the midst of it was coming back to me, but I saw that there would be more shootings. And there, of course, have been here in America. And again, I don't want to just focus on America, because I have folks who listen to me all over the world, and I'm so thankful for everyone. But of course, this is where I live. And so this is like a bit more of my reality. And, but there is a lot of pain on this planet right now. Of course, not just here in the US, worldwide. These things are coming on board, and they're coming on board for us so that we can step into our emotions, so that we can feel things, so that we can start understanding what it is that's going on within our bodies, within our minds. I'm reading Atlas of the Heart right now by Brene Brown, because I have really been wanting to dive deep into emotions and really understanding them. And this book is like kind of like a dictionary in a way of emotions. So she covers, I think, 75 different emotions, talks about them, compares them, little differences between like jealousy and envy. And I mean, I'm like highlighting like crazy, right? I am legit going to be making note cards because I'm a super nerd, and I really want to understand these things, because I believe that our emotional selves are connected to our power, our personal power. And when we have the vocabulary to articulate what is going on within us, what it is that we're seeing, it opens the world up for us. It's huge. So check that book out if that's also something that you're interested in. But what's happening right now, the pain that is happening on our planet, the grieving, the anger, all of it, it's here helping us to come front and center with our emotions. Because guess what? The majority of us aren't really interested in our emotions and don't really understand them. In fact, I think some of the premise for Brene's book was that she had done this huge study, and it was like 50,000 people. And forgive me if I'm wrong. I can really forget like the little specifics like that. But she had asked them a really simple question, like about their emotions, like what emotions you recognize and do you know? And like, basically everyone, I think, only knew like 3 to 5 emotions, and primarily just kind of like when I'm happy and when I'm not, which if that's all you know, then it's pretty difficult to discern why you're happy, what is making you happy, how you can have more of that, right? Or vice versa, in the opposite way, being unhappy. Like, why exactly are you unhappy? What is it that you need to communicate with someone about that so that they don't do that to you again? Or, you know what I mean? There's so much wisdom there for us in our emotions. And so, in the midst of all of these things happening and us waking up, we are also waking up to our emotions. We're starting to feel things. And a lot of us have tried to numb out for so long, you know, by watching TV or eating food or drinking drugs, whatever the case may be. And no shame, no judgment, because we've all been there in different ways. But those things aren't working anymore. I don't know if you've been noticing that, but I definitely have in my own world. It's like, you can't run from this one, Ahna. You're going to have to face it. And the thing is that when we face what is going on, when we face how we are feeling, then we can create a solution. Then we can figure it out. We can get creative. That's what we're here to do. We are all creators. And the June Akashic reading really, really touched on this. They like super brought it out, brought it to life about just this. When I visualize it in my head, it's like going in circles and circles and circles and not wanting to deal with what is in front of us, right? And I know that for myself, when I was going through these waves of self-doubt, couple months, you know, for a couple months, not too long ago, that was a thing for me. It was like I was wanting to run from it. I was wanting to get away from it. I was doing everything, kicking, screaming, whatever, to try and not look at it, to try and not feel that, because it was uncomfortable and I didn't want to be there, but I needed to be there. There was wisdom, there was growth for me. There were things coming up I needed to work through. So again, make sure you check out the June Akashic reading. And then they kind of like rounded up the reading talking about how this week we would need more sleep, more rest, more self-care, stillness. And I don't know about you, but that has definitely been on tap for me. I have really needed to kind of slow things down a little bit. Yesterday, it really hit me hard. I was like doing a bunch of things, and then it was just like, you need to stop, go chill, leave your computer, leave your work, go. You know, as an entrepreneur, there's always something for me to do. So it can be difficult to have boundaries in place. And of course, with the confidence series coming up, like so many things going on. But I have to take care of myself, because there's no way that I can show up and have the integrity to lead that course if I'm not showing up my best and taking care of myself leading up to that. In addition, in the midst of creation and creating for that course and creating for other things in my life, I'm not going to be able to create impactful things if I'm pushing myself too hard. It's just not going to work. And so I've really been taking rest, and I can share with you that rest, I think, is something that's going to be pretty big in June. So if you find yourself being slowed down, know that it is for a purpose and it is for a reason, and do your best to trust it. Trust that the slowness is here for a specific reason. And the best thing to do about that, instead of getting mad, especially if you're wanting to like start something or do something or get action oriented, is to get curious, right? Find out why. Think about how you take care of yourself. Have you really been getting enough sleep? Have you really been doing these things? One of the things that came through for me in a personal Akashic reading that I did was the fact that my body is going through a lot of changes right now. It's shifting, it's transforming. And in that, I'm needing a lot more sleep than I do right now. And they told me that one of the things that I needed to do is to stop setting my alarm for a while. That's a big ask, because Ahna likes to get up early. Ahna likes to have her morning time, but I have been like, it's speaking of snow, it's been like I've kind of been trying to fight through this like snowstorm for the past couple of weeks, just no, I can get up, I can do it. And then like me having to go back to bed and taking like a little nap in the morning and or in the afternoon or something. And that really kind of not leaving me feeling well. I've really had a difficult time just being rested in general. And so I said, okay, I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to trust, they let me know that like my body would rebalance and that I just needed to have faith. So going to be trusting in that. And I want to encourage you to consider the same. I know that every situation isn't like mine. I work for myself. And because of the way that I set up my schedule, I am not super rushed in the morning usually. So that is a privilege. And I understand that. So, but there are other things that you can do for yourself that, might better align with you, align with your schedule, align with whatever it is that you have. So, okay. I don't think there's anything else. If anyone would like to share how their past week was, love to hear. Otherwise, we'll get some tunes going here. And again, if you enjoy this music, you can find it at Dream Porting. They're on YouTube. Daniel is the guy behind Dream Porting. Okay. This music always puts me like in just the right place. I utilize it for my workshops and just a number of other things. Okay, make it comfortable here. If you've been feeling a lot of anxiety this past week, a lot of fear, a lot of questioning, any of those things, which I feel like the records are already starting to talk. Things are already starting to come through, but make breath work your friend. It will help you enormously. Working through resistance, working through anxiety, fear. So let's go ahead and put our hand on our heart. Doesn't matter whether it's right or left, whatever feels best for you. We have chakras in our hands, and when putting them over our heart chakra, I can just really create this beautiful flow of energy back and forth. Just touch into your heart. Feel what is there for you. Does it feel strong? Does it feel tender? No judgment, just being curious. Feel out your surroundings. Where are you at? What is around you? What is touching your body? Are you sitting in a chair, laying down? No right or wrong. As always, the best way to take in these readings is just get into a quiet space. If you have it, put in headphones. Let it just wash over you. Don't feel the need to understand every single word or what is shared, but just take what really resonates with you, what really pops out. And if you're feeling lost over the week, feel free to pop back in and listen to what's going on. It'll help you get rebalanced and recentered. Energy of the Akasha is so strong and so healing. It's forever present and alive. I'm just going to go quiet now and connect in with the records. Masters, teachers, loved ones, what can you share with us about the week ahead? What are some things to be cautious of? What do we most need to know? What is our forecast for the upcoming week? Winds, beats, pulses. Rain upon a windshield. Emotions, yes, so many emotions rising to the surface. So many different things coming through. You're going to feel a bit lost in the week ahead. Know that this is right and aligned. For things are being recentered. Shifts and changes are taking place behind the scenes. And it's going to feel like everything has been put on pause. But what is pause if not a time for re-evaluation of all that has been taking place on this planet as of late? There have been so many things, wounds opened, closed, shut. Opened once again. It is the pulse of these emotions that flows through everything at this time, beckoning you all to wake up, wake up, wake up once again. Touching into that inner coreness that is within you, those tender places, rawness, emotion. For no one likes to be put into a cage, unable to move, bend, grow, do. Yet this week ahead may feel like it. You'll be stopped in the midst of your doings. You'll be cut off from where you want to go. This too will be showing up in conversations, and people will simply be ducking out, saying they simply can't handle anymore. Let them, allow them. Know that they must do what is best for themselves, while you too are reevaluating all that you have on your plate. Is it really necessary to do all these things? Is it really required of you? What is most important at this time is for you to begin getting quite clear on where you should be spending your time and with whom. Do they love and support you in ways that make you better yourself? Give you love and nurturance through gentle honesty? Can you handle it? Do you open yourself up to it? Are you brave enough to see the light? The light of who you are and what you are doing, the world around you, how it is coming crashing down. But worry not, for as we have shared before, there is purpose in everything, and purpose reigns supreme. Purpose must be finished through. Yet it can be upended at any time, redirected, shifted into a new direction, if you all will it to be. Do not allow the happenings of your everyday life to seep their way too deep inside. No, keep yourself at a distance so that you might be able to evaluate them objectively without the emotional tides and pull that you will be feeling at this time. This time would be a good time to talk to someone you know who can be trusted with all that you're feeling on the inside. For the planet is grieving at this time. So much blood is being shed. So many tears are falling from faces. Open up your arms to one another. Spend time in tenderness as much as possible. Recognize the emotions within you. Give them their time and space acknowledgement. Yet do not allow them to overtake you. For emotions are powerful and can push you into directions that you aren't meant to go. You will know these directions when you find yourself nose stuck in a corner, unable to move about. That will be quite different from the immense calm of this week and things not working out. You will be able to push your way through, but at a great cost. For sleep is what is most helpful at this time. To make it through this week in the best way possible, again, set yourself apart from all that is happening in your world. Question it, take it in, give it space and room to grow. Do not make things happen. Do not force people to do what they do not want to do. Be clear about your communication. Ask questions when you do not understand the communication coming from another direction. Slow down and fill your time with things that you love and bring you joy, yet are soothing for your soul. For the souls within you are grieving, but you need not reside there. Know that in the midst of this quiet calm that the tides are shifting and soon things will be taking off at a very rapid pace. This is the calm before the storm of all that is moving your way this year. Where things are only beginning to fall, and they will fall more heavily as time moves forward. Prepare yourself a solid foundation in the midst of these times, and do not allow yourself to be overcome by them. For they move and change and shift at the pace in which they are dropping in. In the midst of so much that is taking place. Trust what is around you. Trust what you see through your own very eyes. And simply take it in, one day at a time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just go ahead and turn the music off. I'd love to know how that reading resonated with you, how that message, I should say, forecast, whatever. One of the first things that were coming through when they started channeling was this. It's like I was in a car and I was looking out the windshield and all of this rain was like coming down and like beating on the windshield, and the wipers were kind of going left to right, trying to clear it away, but it was just like more and more and more. It definitely feels like there's so much emotion on this planet at this time. And that's what the water really represented, was just this like continual downfall of emotions. And I think a lot of very heavy emotions. And I spoke about this a little bit last week, but one of my most sacred practices right now is being very clear about calling in protection and setting strict boundaries energetically every morning. Otherwise, I just get swept up in everything I know that the collective is feeling at this time, just what is going on around me. If you've ever seen a blueprint, or not a blueprint, but if you've ever seen like a photo of an aura, it exists like 50 feet from where our body is standing. So if you're like me and you live like close to people, you can be picking up what your neighbor is feeling at any point in time in the day and not even realizing it, thinking that it is your own. But I've been being very clear with my guides and the energetic boundaries I've been setting about what is actually allowed into my space, and also my mind, because my mind is, maybe you've heard that saying before, the mind is a battlefield. And I don't necessarily want to put that connotation on it, but it's definitely, there are forces back and forth, I would say, constantly about the thoughts that are coming through our mind, what we're being told, how we're speaking to ourselves, guidance, like so many different things. And we must be really intentional to lay a boundary that only what is meant for our highest and best is allowed, period. I am constantly or not constantly, but every day calling in Archangel Michael to clear my energy, to put very strong boundaries in place, to clear out my aura, just sort of everything, so that not only am I protected, but I am also not shedding any of the things that I'm going through on other people that I'm coming into contact with my own aura, right? And it's just so important at these times. But again, that rain was just beating down so strongly on the window. It definitely feels like this week is going to be another heavy week. We're going to want to be moving a lot faster, and we really need to honor that is just not what we're supposed to be doing at this time. I could see kind of like how things are going to be shifting moving forward. And I think even into next week, like a bit of the following week, we'll also be dealing with a bit more of this energy. But then it's like things are going to redirect very, very quickly. Mercury retrograde went direct yesterday. It's actually going direct today on the 3rd, but it's still going to be in its shadow until I think the 16th or 19th. I can't remember the exact date. And so we're still in some of that like retrograde-ish energy. And so we still have to really be intentional about our communications, really be intentional about making decisions. Don't do anything too hasty. Don't push anything. Just really allow ourselves to go at a steady pace right now. One of the things I saw very clearly is just purging. such a deep need for that this week. And I think honestly, just like this month, I was really feeling like this is huge. You know, whether we are purging things from our home, purging things from our mental space, purging things from our phones, our online clouds, you know, where we save stuff, whatever the case may be, purging so that we can really start clearing out all of the stuff, because it all weighs on us. Everything is energy. And the more that we have piled up in our homes, that energy weighs on us. And people always come to our house and kind of remark on how minimalist it is. And that is very much for a specific reason for me. I like there to be space for energy to move. I also just don't like looking in corners, and I can always feel the heaviness of when I'm getting too much. And I love purging and getting rid of things. My partner always gets a little irritated with me because he is someone who holds on to things much more. And he's like, no, like we could use that like maybe 5 years down the road, or like, well, what happens when this one breaks? And it's like, well, we'll buy another one. You know, it's this one's going to last for a very long time. We don't need to just have an extra one. These are really important things, these, you know, in these times, if you have things that could be useful to your neighbors or be useful to other people, like please donate. Get rid of things, because it's going to benefit other people and it's going to benefit you. There's something at the very end of the reading that I wanted to be sure and touch on as well. We don't need to work hard right now. We need to really be okay going at a slower pace and trusting that the time and effort that we're putting in matters. It counts, it is seen, and everything is going to come together for us. Fear is definitely going to be playing a very active role in this upcoming week. And that is going to be part of this heaviness and part of just our reaction to the heaviness of not being able to move and go and do, and kind of the stagnation, if you will, before this redirection. And the way that they were showing me the redirection is more like a ricochet. So it's going to happen like really quick. And again, foundation. So important. I've been talking about this since I feel like the middle of last year, about the importance of foundations, the records, I should say. I've been talking about it. So huge in these times. But just being really kind with ourselves, you know, I know for myself, and of course I can really only speak about myself, but when things don't seem to be going the way I want them to, I can really enact an all-out warfare, like nuclear warfare on myself. Like, oh, you're not doing this, or you need to be doing more of that, or like, oh, you're wrong here, or whatever the case may be. And that's never what it's about. We're being given this time of slowness, of chill. It's a gift. It is not a curse. It's not a negative thing. We're being given this time because things are getting ready to pick up really quickly, like really quickly. And now I was already seeing, they were showing me what is going to be coming more this year. We've got a whole lot. Something that I was reminded of recently is the US is going through its Pluto return. And that's massive reevaluation, letting things go, stepping into new, figuring out who we are. And while the US and America is not, you know, I'm not someone who thinks it's the greatest country in the world. Don't get me started. Again, it's where I reside. And actually, the US is considered to be like the solar plexus of this planet. And so the Americas. And so we do affect other countries. And again, we're all one. And going through a Pluto return is a pretty big deal. So in a way, we're all kind of being asked to reevaluate these times too, but try not to see this slowing down as a negative. Excuse me. Try to just really open yourself up, see it as a positive, a time of rest, of recuperation, of reawakening. That is happening this month. There is enormous energy that will be with us this month to really bring in some huge shifts if we work with it. So switch that perspective. Remember to be thankful in these times. And I think I may have talked about this in last week's video. Not sure that I did, but my number one practice outside of prayer is gratitude. And if you are having a difficult time being thankful, or not even just being thankful, if you're having a difficult time with a lot of different things hitting you at one time, if you're really frustrated, struggling, grieving, whatever the case may be, start a daily gratitude practice. It has saved my life twice. It keeps me sane and grounded because for whatever reason, even though I'm a very positive person, I can really I have this propensity to fixing problems is one of the things that I most love to do in life. And so that means I can see all the problems very clearly, very easily. That is my superpower, but it also can really weigh on me because I see all the issues, I see all the problems. And so I really have to work at staying centered and grounded. And my gratitude practice, best thing that I have ever done for myself outside of prayer. And honestly, like I would say it rivals prayer. Like it's right there. And all you have to do first thing in the morning, if you're on your phone, you can type it out or write it out. Even better, just write down at least 3 things that you're thankful for. That's it. You can talk about why, you can expand on them if you want to, but just that is huge. It's Oprah's number 1 practice in her life as well. And check out Oprah. She ain't doing so bad. Sending you much love, Deb, for you and your family. I'm so sorry about your mom passing away and your sister's husband. I feel like a lot of people in my space have been losing loved ones. And when I say loved ones, I don't just mean people, I mean animals as well. Over the past 2 weeks, I think I've seen quite a bit. So sending you all so much love, good things for the week ahead. Yes, it's going to be a bit slower, but enjoy it. Enjoy it. Take it in. Give yourself permission to slow down, to hang out outside. Go watch the birds and squirrels or chipmunks or whatever is by you, and look at the sky, look at the trees, look at, watch people, whatever the case, like just do things that bring you peace and chill. All right, folks, wishing you a wonderful week ahead. Happy Friday. Be sure to check out the Confidence series. If you are curious about it, feel free to ask questions. You can email me for more. Oh, hello. Also, for the month of June, my Akashic readings and my human design readings are 10% off. So make sure to check that out. Big love, big love. Have a wonderful week. Bye.